Welcome to the Minnesota Migrant Education Program Supplemental Services Training. This training will give you basic information about the supplemental services provided by the Minnesota Migrant Education Program. By advocating for our students and quickly providing support, we can help migratory students reach challenging academic standards in order for them to graduate and be a productive citizen. The Migrant Education Program is 100% federally funded through Title I Part C, Education of Migratory Children. The program ensures migratory children have access to all federal, state, and locally supported services on the same basis as other children. The funding is intended to supplement existing programs. It cannot supplant. Migratory workers work due to economic necessity. Examples of this type of work include seasonal work like picking rock, packing corn, packing peas, or temporary work like milking cows, processing eggs, and caring for pigs. The child or youth, and remember they can be age 0 through 21, has moved across district lines within 3 years and has not graduated. They don't have to move with the parent or guardian. They could come before the parent or they could come after. The youth could be the agricultural worker or could be a parent or guardian. Be sure to fill out the family needs assessment and the student profile once you have determined eligibility. Migratory students move from many other states to Minnesota, but the majority of our students move here from southern Texas. Some of our students move from district to district within Minnesota. No matter where a student moves from, the advocacy you provide may help them remove barriers to their education. Qualifying work includes seasonal and temporary jobs. In Minnesota, the top qualifying activity is packing, cleaning, and hauling peas. Migratory families also come to Minnesota to work with corn, picking rocks, harvesting sugar beets, milking and caring for dairy cows, caring for poultry, packing radishes, and caring for pigs, among many other activities. This list is not conclusive. Please contact us if you are unsure if an activity qualifies. Qualifying arrival dates are the dates that students have made a qualifying move to our state and have been identified. In May, June, July, and August, we have the majority of our qualifying arrival dates. In October and November, many of our families leave the state, but as you can see throughout every single month of the year, there are qualifying arrival dates within the state of Minnesota. So students are moving around from district to district or state to state every month of the year. The purpose of the Migrant Education Program is to address unique educational needs of migratory children, assist in overcoming educational disruption, ensure students receive full and appropriate opportunities to meet the same challenging content standards, and not to penalize the students for the different disparities among the state's educational systems. Our migratory students travel from state to state and school to school, and there are so many differences in each educational system. You could be the link that they need. You can advocate for them and make sure that they are getting what they need to be successful. The Family Needs Assessment is located in MES 2000. It is important that this gets filled out as soon as the recruiter determines eligibility. If you assist the family with any of these needs, be sure to enter the information in the Supplemental Services form in Connect Team. Entering it does not mean it is automatically approved as a service provided. The Assistant Director of Migrant Education Services will determine if the service can be counted or not. If you do not have access to Connect Team, contact Claudia Melodic. The student profile should also be filled out after eligibility has been determined. Again, any service that you provide should be documented in the Supplemental Services form in Connect Team. The migratory student may have frequent changes in residency, chronic absenteeism, move before the school year ends, large gaps in missed instructional and assessment time, deficiency of credits towards graduation, lack of access to resources, language and cultural barriers, difficulty performing at grade level, and emotional challenges adapting to new environments. Migratory students may also be resilient, talented, multilingual, and may be able to share numerous experiences about things others may not be familiar with. Help to empower our families by advocating for them and assisting them as they become familiar with Minnesota. Recruiters can help migratory families by understanding the impact of poverty and high mobility. They can also act quickly to identify needs and provide supplemental support, collaborate with others to help meet student needs, and help to prevent students from dropping out by advocating for them. So what are supplemental services? Services are a subset of all the activities that the MEP provides through its programs and projects. Services are those educational or educationally related activities that directly benefit a migrant child, address a need of a migrant child consistent with the SEA's Comprehensive Needs Assessment and Service Delivery Plan, are grounded in scientifically based research, or in the case of support services, are a generally accepted practice, and are designed to enable the program to meet its measurable outcomes and contribute to the achievement of the state's performance targets. Summer migrant education programs serve 35% of our migratory students. Besides the summer programs, services are provided by MERC staff and Tri-Valley Opportunity Council regional and seasonal recruiters. Services that are provided include instructional services, high school credit accrual, counseling services, and support services. It is important to document every service that is provided since each service can be directly correlated to funding. Each state that receives federal dollars for the migrant education program should be able to prove that the money is spent appropriately. Keeping diligent records will help us to verify our efforts. Support services are educationally related services that are provided to students. These services include, but are not limited to, health, nutrition, counseling, and social services for migratory children, necessary educational supplies, and transportation. Activities related to identification and recruitment, parental involvement, professional development, program evaluation, and the one-time act of providing instructional or informational packets to a child or family does not constitute a support service. Tri-Valley Opportunity Council Migrant Education Services is contracted by the Minnesota Department of Education. We provide training and access to MES 2000, which is the state's migrant database, and M6, which is the national migrant database. We manage the data for the MEP in Minnesota and collect all of the minimum data elements for every migratory student in the state of Minnesota, which is federally required. School districts use the Migratory Student Information Form, the MSIF, and the Summer Program Services Report, which is the SPSR, to report student information. Our regional and seasonal recruiters identify and recruit eligible migratory families, as well as provide advocacy and supplemental services. They report this information in the supplemental services log in Connect Team. The Minnesota Department of Education has added Migrant Liaison to the contact list in MDE-org. If you need to coordinate your efforts with someone in the school district, our go-to is the Migrant Liaison. To find the Migrant Liaison list, go to MDE's website, go to Data Center, Schools and Organizations, enter MDE.org site to get started, click on Contact Lists, and then click on District Migrant Liaison. Advocate for families by helping them connect to different resources they need in any state that they are in. The IDRC resource portal has many links listed for valuable resources at your fingertips. The Student and Family Resource Portal has fun, educational activities that students can do at home. Feel free to share these resources with families. In Minnesota, in addition to other supplemental services that are provided, most families receive food and school supplies. Contact the Migrant Education Services Manager to access these supplies for our families. Be sure to document the food and educational supplies that are given to families in Connect Team. All services provided must be documented in the Minnesota Supplemental Services Log in Connect Team. After the Assistant Director of Migrant Education Services determines if the service meets the federal criteria of a supplemental service, the Migrant Education Services Data System Specialist will then enter that information into MES 2000 and link it to the appropriate student the service was provided to. If you are not sure if it is a service or not, the best thing to do is to record it since we want to be sure to include all services provided. If it doesn't meet the criteria, the service will not be entered into MES 2000 by the Migrant Education Services Data Systems Specialist. We must document the following: advocacy and outreach, for example, coordination, referral, and linkage with other agencies or school services, assisting in interpretation or translation, assisting in obtaining school records, and arranging health or dental visits. When you provide school supplies from a federally funded program such as the Migrant Education Program. Health education and safety. Example would be instruction on job safety, pesticide safety, health, dental, etc. And material support. Examples include activities that assist in accessing basic human needs such as food, clothing, and shelter. The needs assessment is an example is if you determine the needs and then facilitate the implementation of resources, materials, and/or programs needed. Nutrition. Example is food that has been purchased by MEP funds for meetings, events, or given to families when other funding sources cannot be accessed for food. OSY profile follow-up is completed, and that is determination of needs and the facilitation of implementation of resources, materials, and/or programs needed. Parent involvement and training. Any program to empower, assist, and encourage parents to work on basic skills to help children to achieve academic success and encourage continuation of schooling towards graduation. Another example is school enrollment. If an MEP-funded staff, such as a recruiter, helps the student receive assistance with school enrollment and helps obtaining birth certificates, immunization records, etc., school enrollment could be counted as a service. Transportation, transporting students to and from school activities, either between school and home, on field trips related to school activities, or the provision of support services. And advocacy related to COVID-19 information. If you're sharing COVID-19 information and educating on who to contact at a school to register, educating about distance learning, where to pick up food, meals, internet access, etc., advocacy related to COVID-19 could be included as a service. The majority of the time, your services that you provide will be some sort of advocacy service. Again, if you're not sure if it's a service or not, go ahead and record it, and we can always just take it off if it is not a service. For more information about the Minnesota Migrant Education Program, check out our website or Facebook page, or you can contact us on our Minnesota Migrant Education Program hotline, 1-800-890-4853. That line rings in the Lee Center office. Through this training, we hope that you have learned more about the unique needs of migratory children and the services the Migrant Education Program provides. We truly appreciate all of the services you provide for our families. Together, we are hoping to be able to overcome educational disruption, cultural and language barriers, social isolation, various health-related problems, and other factors that inhibit the ability of such children to succeed. Thank you so much for joining us. Please contact us if you have any questions.